sticky spiced glazed ham. Oh yeah, this is like one of my all-time favorites. And then we've got a whole bunch of other things going on here. We have the most epic green beans. We have the most amazing kimchi cheesy party starters. I might be mixing a cocktail or two. Now this is my very Merry Christmas. Episode 2. Hey friends, welcome. Don't you just love this time of year? I really do. I love it because the food is so delicious. Now I'm sharing with you some of my very favorite Christmas traditions. Glazed ham is one of them. It's like a must-have for my family every year. But why don't you guys tell me what you love for Christmas? I love to hear where you guys are watching from. I love to hear what you're up to, what you're cooking for Christmas. If anyone wants to share some recipes, that would be even better. So make sure you're sharing all of that in the comments, guys, while we cook a magical Christmas feast today. All right, so I'm gonna get straight into this ham because we have a fair bit of work to do in this episode. Now we're gonna get started first of all with the marinade. Now, marinating a ham isn't like a very typical thing to do. I like to do it because you get a whole lot of spice and flavor in there rather than just sort of glazing the outside of the ham. So if we start off here with some ginger, garlic, some red Asian shallot. So you could also use some red onion here as well. Some chilies. Now I am using a mild chili today. I know you guys know that I love things super fiery, but you know, when it comes to Christmas, you've got a lot of people over, you want to kind of please the crowd. And now for some spices here. So I've got some Chinese 5 spice. And then here is like my super top tip for spicing a ham. So typically or traditionally, cloves, you would see cloves, whole cloves kind of studded into your ham, and they really do give your ham a beautiful flavor. But what happens is you make a sandwich, you slice some ham, and you're like chomping into bits of clove, which is not very nice, but I love that flavor, so I put it in my marinade, and then I don't need to have the little bits of the clove sticking in everywhere. Now I'm gonna add some Chinese Shaoxing wine here as well, and the reason why it's always great to add in an alcohol to your marinade is that alcohol is a really good carrier of flavor. So that liquid is really thin and it can seep into your ham and carry the flavor with it. Sometimes I'll do a spiced rum, sometimes a whiskey, but this year it's going to be Shaoxing wine. Now this year, because I've chosen to do quite a sweet glaze, I want to keep my marinade kind of tangy, so I'm going to add in some malt vinegar here. And this just needs to get blended. All right, so I'm just gonna pour this in here for later because I wanna get on and do my glaze next. So every year I choose a different kind of theme or flavor for my glaze, and this year I'm doing mango. Because I am here in Queensland in Australia this year, you know, often I'm in Bangkok in Thailand, so I might choose something that's more seasonal there, but this year it's mangoes. So I just wanna cut the cheeks off. And this is actually what I would do sort of a day or 2 days before Christmas. I would get my ham ready, the marinade, the glaze, everything ready to go so that on Christmas morning, all I'm doing is just baking and glazing. So that's me on Christmas morning. Now to my mango, I'm gonna add some mango juice. Oh, and one other thing here, if you can't get fresh mango where you are, you could use frozen or even tinned mango here. It actually would be quite nice, like if you were somewhere cold, to have a bit of like a tropical kind of flavor, I think. I want some maple syrup here and some soy sauce. Now this needs to get blended too. Okay, so I'm going to pour this into my saucepan here. I need to add a few more flavors. And I want to add some bay leaves here. So these are fresh bay leaves, and to give them their best chance of like releasing all their flavor, I'm just going to give them a little clap, if you like. And then Like I can already smell them now. Okay, so that goes in, and then some star anise, and I want to get that heating up. I just need that to simmer until it's just thickened slightly, like 10 minutes or so, and also so the bay leaf and the star anise kind of infuse in there. Now that bay leaf has reminded me that I love to drink gin and tonics, and I have a very special premium mixer that I'm going to use today. It's the Fever Tree Mediterranean Tonic Water. And I promised Dax that I would make him a cocktail today, so it's your lucky day, Dax. Yum. It really does, it tastes totally different, you know, like when you have a really good tonic. I think it does anyway. The bay leaf and the lime are adding some flavour there, but I think it tastes so much more complex. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yum, that is so good. Who's having one of these?
Me.
You. Dax, are you allowed to film and drink at the same time?
Oh,
is it like driving?
I better check my contract. Oh, that's good.
Isn't it? Like, it has.
I mean, when I want to have a good time, Fever Tree.
All right, glaze is done, marinade is done, cocktail is made. Very nice. Let's get on with preparing our ham though, because that's a bit of a process. So, okay, so the ham itself. Now, you can go your own adventure with your ham. Everyone will probably have a different ham available in their area. So that's okay, but you want to have one that has a skin on. It's a cooked ham as well, so it's already cooked through. We don't have to worry about that. But what we do want to do is take the skin off so that we can keep some of the fat, because we're going to score the fat, and that's what we're going to glaze with our beautiful mango mixture. So to remove this skin, you just need to start on an edge here and just slice into there a little bit, and then use your fingers to just gently release the skin from the fat. Okay, so now that we've got our fat here, what we want to do is score that. Now you can go in like a more sort of traditional diamond pattern. Now I'm just going to go for actually straight line score marks that are around 1/2 centimetre. Now the marinade, we just pour that over the top and rub that all over the ham. So make sure you get right in there on that cut side as well, and particularly on that fat side. I just kind of like to just pack on all those aromatics and make sure that we're going to get as much marinade as possible seeping into all of our score marks. So this is currently smelling so beautifully like Christmas to me. I love it. It's, you know, even the preparation of all my food for Christmas, I enjoy all of it, including this. So this is going to go into my fridge, make my fridge smell like Christmas. And you want to be doing this the night before, so this needs to marinate overnight. Or maybe I'll have some more of this. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to finish off our ham a little bit later on. I've also got some cookbooks to give away a bit later on, so stick around. But, oh, and tell me also, again, if you've just joined, what are you doing for Christmas? I would love to know. I'd love to know what you're cooking. Now, I'm going to do here a green bean recipe which goes with like anything Christmas time. It has this awesome hazelnut ginger bready kind of crumb, which is really Christmassy and really delish. So it's really easy. Start off with just an egg white, some brown sugar, some ground ginger, cinnamon, and just a little pinch of cloves. Some salt in there, and just give that a whisk. I want some hazelnuts. And then tip it out onto a tray lined with some baking paper. Now this gets baked 170 Celsius for 15 minutes, but halfway through come in and just give it a bit of a stir. Now for the green beans, just a little bit of technique here. So I want to pop my green beans into some boiling water, and I want them crunchy but charred. So to do that, I just blanch them for about 3 minutes, then put them into some ice cold water to stop the cooking, keep them nice and green, and then just drain them on some paper towel. Now, if you've got your barbecue going at Christmas, which you often do here in Australia where it's warm, you can do this on the barbecue or on a char grill pan or a frying pan in your kitchen. Just get the pan really hot, beans go in, and cook these, tossing them around every so often until they're beautifully charred. Now toss them with a little bit of olive oil, some chopped parsley, and some salt. Just pop those out onto a plate. With your hazelnuts, you might just need to break them up a little bit, sprinkle them on top, and there you go, Christmassy char grilled green beans. Okay guys, so let's get back to finishing off our ham. Now, this is a ham that I've had marinating since yesterday. Now, before we get to preparing and glazing and baking our ham, why don't we give away some cookbooks? Now, as you guys might know, I have released a new cookbook this year. It is called Always Delicious, and it is all about all the little tips, techniques, all of my most treasured recipes, all together in the one little collection. So that is my new cookbook, Always Delicious, and I have some copies to give away. So why don't you guys write in the comments below your favorite Christmas menu? Could be this year's Christmas menu or a past Christmas menu that you loved. I would love to hear all about it, and the 5 most delicious or interesting or amazing sounding Christmas menus will win my brand new cookbook, Always Delicious. So there you go guys, please tell me all about your Christmas because I love to read about it. Now, because I have a whole lot of marinade on my baking tray here, and that will burn, what I want you to do is lift your ham onto a baking tray, clean baking tray lined with foil. Now, I always wrap the hock part of the ham with some extra foil. And now take your glaze and you just very generously slather that glaze all over your ham. Now there's a lot of glaze here and I like that because I probably won't even use all of this throughout the cooking of the ham. I'll just simmer it again after I finish cooking the ham and then serve it on the side. It's a little extra kind of sauce to drizzle over the ham. Now just pop this into the oven, 180 Celsius, and I want you to bake the ham around about an hour, 45 minutes or an hour. The ham itself is already cooked, so this is all about getting that luscious, sticky glaze. So I just bake it, I baste it every 10 minutes or so until it's really lovely, golden and sticky. Okay, so while our ham's in the oven, let's make some make-ahead kind of yummy, cheesy party starter things because, I mean, you always need something like that in your freezer. These are my kimchi and cheese puff pastries, and it's very easy. So take yourself some store-bought kimchi, or you can look up my recipe for homemade kimchi. And actually, this is pretty fun. I do this some years. If I serve this, I'll use my homemade kimchi, and then I'll keep little jars of homemade kimchi in my pantry or under the tree. And then when someone says, "Oh my goodness, I love that pastry," I can be like, "Well, here you go. Here's some kimchi so you can make it too." So anyway, it's just a cute thing that I like to do some years. Okay, so kimchi. So I'm going to add some gochujang to that as well, and some spring onion. I just mix that together. So to ensure maximum melty, like, you know, dramatic cheese ball, I like to use some mozzarella. Don't use the fresh here, that's just gonna melt and it's too wet for the pastry. So you want a nice sort of bulb of mozzarella or a block and some nice thick slices. And now with your pastry, you want a store-bought puff pastry. You can go ahead and make your own if you like, but you know, I think you don't really need to be a hero with everything at Christmas. So take the shortcuts where you can. Well, that's what I do anyway. Puff pastry, just roll it out. And you need two sizes here. First of all, a slightly larger size. I'm going with an 8 centimetre here. So this is for the top of our puff pastries. And now for the bases. So roll that pastry out again. And this one is about a 7.5 centimetre pastry cutter, so just slightly smaller. So take yourself one of the smaller rounds. Now just put a little bit of kimchi on each of those rounds and some nice thick chunky pieces of mozzarella. I like to go hard on the mozzarella. It means that there's the possibility of cheese explosions, but I don't know, I don't mind. The more cheese, the better. Okay, so now I'm gonna get my pastry tops, and I just kind of like press down on the edges around the filling, and then I get a fork and just crimp the edges so I get a really nice seal. And just pick that up off your board and onto a tray lined with baking paper. So at this point, you could put these into the freezer, and then once they're frozen, then you can just scoop them up and pop them into little Ziploc bags and have them ready to bake whenever you need them. But we're gonna get these baked straight away. So what you wanna do is do a little egg wash. Just brush each pastry. A little sprinkling of black sesame seeds, and then bake these for 15 minutes until they're really like puffy and golden and like oozing cheese. Yum. Can we end the video now? It's Friday afternoon. Okay, so these are looking very puffy, golden, delicious, but we did have one little disaster here. So here we go, this guy got a bit excited in the oven. There's just like cheese everywhere, but you know, that's gonna be for me. I don't mind an ugly duckling pastry, but pop your other little friends out onto a plate. And there you go, guys, it's all cheese and spicy and yummy things in here. Should we get in here and have a look? Let's have a look. Oh, look at that cheese. I mean, come on. Oh, so good. Oh, let's get in here. Oh. You know, for me, kimchi and cheese is like a little match made in heaven. It's so good. It's like spicy and creamy. That's like the ultimate little pastry. Yum. So good. Yum. Okay, so my kitchen is currently smelling amazing. This is the point on Christmas morning where I start to get really hungry. Let's have a look at our ham. I have been glazing it every 10 minutes or so, so it should be really lush right about now. Okay, I mean, to me, this is like the perfect ham. It's beautifully sticky and glossy, and I can smell all of those extra flavors that we added in with that marinade, which I think really gives you like something extra, extra special. Oh my goodness, look at how Christmassy and beautiful that looks. I mean, to me, that's just Christmas in a ham. Well, ham is Christmas to me, you know, I just love it so much, and I love it when things look really beautiful. Okay, but of course I'm going to taste this, make sure that I've done a good job for you guys. Yum, 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 yum. You know what I love about that is I can taste all those beautiful spices and the aromatics, and then you've got that little pop of sticky sweetness that you get on the top from that glaze. That is Christmas in a mouthful. I love it. Oh, yum. Now you can serve this a lot of different ways with the green beans that we did today. You can also just do it simply with some bread rolls, some butter and mustard, because that's also really good. So there you go, guys. There is my ham Christmas spread. I am so happy to join you guys at Christmas time. I really do. I love these episodes that we do for Christmas, and I love hearing all about your Christmas. So please do let me know. And in the meantime, I hope that you have the most wonderful, beautiful, delicious, safe, and happy holiday season. Thanks, guys. Bye.